Most people think of World War II as a story of weapons and warfare, but buried inside that same era, inside the same labs, and funded by the same company, there's an invention nobody saw coming. And probably you are wearing it right now. Stick with me because it only gets better. There's a famous saying in Hindi that आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी है. Necessity is the mother of all invention. And necessity in this case was born out of war. After World War I ended, the whole world started preparing if something like that happens ever again. So millions of dollars, countless hours, and some of the brightest brains on the planets were poured into inventing things that had never existed before. And somewhere in that process, they identified a need for the most durable, weatherproof, low maintenance fabric, and the one that could be produced at scale and fast. That's when Dr. Wallace Carothers enters the picture, a chemist working at DuPont. He spent years researching how to bond acrylic molecules together, and in 1931, he cracked it. The result? A super strong fabric that world would come to know as nylon. Now here's where it gets interesting. DuPont, the company Dr. Carothers working for, was chosen to make the laboratory for the Manhattan Project. Yes, the same project which gave the world its first atomic bomb. Now think about that for a second. The same company that was quietly developing a fiber in the lab was also building the most powerful weapon the world had ever seen. And after World War II, these massive companies and factories were suddenly left with a huge problem. Demand had collapsed overnight. Now that the war was over, all their production capacity was just sitting there, all left to waste. So just like many other military inventions that were repurposed for the everyday life, synthetic fibers like nylon and polyester were finally introduced to public. And the response was massive. The reason was simple. They were cheap, durable, and easy to maintain. For women, most of whom were homemakers at that time, that was everything. Because nobody wanted to spend hours hand washing delicate fabrics or replacing clothes every season. By the 1950s, it had become a full-blown race. Whether it is a big or small company, everyone have realized the same thing. Synthetic fabrics was cheap to make, easy to scale, and incredibly profitable. So they produced it as fast as they possibly could. Now fast forward to today. Around 60% of the clothes on your skin contain polyester or some kind of synthetic blend. So next time you check your clothing label and see the word nylon, acrylic or polyester, just remember it shares its history with the Manhattan Project, with the atomic bomb, with one of the darkest chapters in the human history. It's quite funny what ends up in a wardrobe. Are these synthetic fabrics any good? Or they were just pushed onto us because they are cheap and easy to mass produce? That's exactly what we are getting into next. So make sure you click that subscribe button because you don't want to miss that one.